And joining us tonight to take on the political headlines is Representative Dennis Ross, former congressman and director of the American Center for Political Leadership at Southeastern University. Representative Ross, always good to be with you. A lot to unpack here, but first, I want to get your reaction to last night's announcement from Mar-A-Lago.
Well, none of it was a surprise to me. I think we all knew that President Trump was going to make the announcement that he is going to test the waters, that he's pretty determined to run again. I think it's a different landscape than it was 6 years ago. I think January 6th is going to be a stumbling block for him. His results were very good. You know, I was one of the few congressmen in 2016 that supported him, spoke at 5 of his rallies, was on his transition team, and things were going along very well. Unfortunately, what has happened as a result of January 6th, and now with the rise of Ron DeSantis, it's going to be a battle that I don't think is going to be healthy necessarily in the long run for the Republican Party, but I think that it also may give us an opportunity to see who can be the one that rises to the top if they unify the Republican Party. And I think the key factor here is going to be who can unify them, because the principles, the values, and the agenda is pretty much the same between Governor DeSantis and President Trump. I think it would be the same with Mike Pence and with Nikki Haley. But they've got to unify, because the American public, I think, spoke in this last election. They don't want to see the divisiveness. They want to see a country come together.
And I also want to ask you about the timing of the Trump announcement. You know, some say, why not wait until after the Georgia runoff election and then, focus on that? Why do you think he chose yesterday to break this news?
Mr. Trump is a risk taker, and he saw what was happening in Florida with Governor DeSantis. He sees what's on the table with Herschel Walker. If he can interject now and Walker be successful in the Senate, he'll take credit for it. If Walker's not, he survived it last time when he got involved in that race. The other thing is that, he needs to keep his level of interest up. President Trump has done a phenomenal job raising money. In fact, I think he's probably taken in more money than anybody could ever imagine in his efforts. So he's going to start utilizing that to keep his name ID up there. Coming out early furthers that cause of keeping his name ID out there. If he takes a calculated risk, doing it now, and in December when the election in Georgia is held, Walker comes out on top, the president's going to take credit for that and continue to bolster him. But a lot's going to happen in 2 years.
Not a lot of time for us right now, but I want to get to this. There's a lot on the agenda when the new Congress goes into session, including maybe an FBI probe and a promised closer look into the origins of COVID. I want to get your thoughts on that. And what do you think is the priority for the new House?
Well, the priority for the new House is going to be trying to get some legislation done of any level, because with only a 3 or 4 vote majority, it's going to be very difficult. I was there when we had as many as a 30 vote majority and couldn't get anything passed. But the Republican Party's got to be very careful on their investigative agenda. I mean, Hunter Biden's an issue, but what's maybe more important is what's going on at the southern border. Why have we failed so desperately there? What happened in Afghanistan? Why did we pull out when we did? There are things there that need to be addressed that I think the American people want to see, other than a political attack on the Biden family, although they need to be held accountable. The other thing I think is going to be important, it should be at the top of their agenda, is, look, 2024 will be an opportunity to elect Republicans to take the majority in the Senate and to win the White House. We're going to set forth a legislative agenda that we will pass out of this House, that will not pass the Senate, that even if it does, will be vetoed by the president. But if you elect us to take both houses of Congress and the White House in 2024, this is what we'll get, and we'll be a better nation. Most of their agenda will probably be done in messaging, because that's where they have to build from as a result of this last election if they want to see a majority in the Senate and a greater majority in the House, as well as the White House.
And quickly, before I let you go, any final thoughts?
it's exciting. The divided government is good. When I was there in 2010 or 2011, we were the majority in the House, and the Senate was Democrat, and the president was Democrat. We were called obstructionists, but we prevented a left-wing agenda from being furthered, and we think that was good because it eventually gave us the Senate and eventually gave us the White House. So I think things are good now. I think this is healthy for the process. A close majority is going to be even more healthy. It might require that they go reach across the aisle and get some moderates to come along with the Republican agenda and build some consensus.
Representative Ross, thank you so much for your insights. As always, we appreciate it.